Hey there, boys and girls, and welcome to episode 118 of Sonic Boom TV. Want to give a shout out to Keith, one of my followers, video watchers, fellow Louisianian guy that just met at the Japanese restaurant around the corner. He came up to me and said that he watches my videos. I thought that was kind of cool. Hope he watches this one and gets his little shout out. Keith, I didn't get your last name, sorry. But hopefully you'll see this video and make your wife watch it too. Anyway, this episode is the Vinyl Tag 2023 episode. Basically, the Vinyl Tag is something, I don't know who originally created it, but they go over, like, it's basically 20 questions, and they give you kind of a subject of something to pick, and you show your album for the year. Lets people see a lot of different things, some stuff that they already have, some stuff they might not know about, and stuff like that. So this one was done, this list of questionings came from a guy named Rob Walker. He's got a pretty big following on YouTube. I think his channel is called Rob Walker Let the Music Play. So let's kick it off. This is going to mostly be records. There's a few other things in here because a couple of the questions involve other things, but let's get started. So, favorite new release of 2022. Now, this is probably one of my favorites, but it's not necessarily something that came out in 2022, and I didn't buy a lot of records that were new release. I bought a ton of stuff in 2022, but the albums that actually were released in 2022, I don't have a lot of them. So I thought about it, I thought about what I could do, and I picked this, the Muffs new improved Kim Shattuck demos. This is basically now I can't think of the name of the album at the moment. The Really Happy album, but these are like the demos for that. And this was released as a second. I think there was a special edition or something with the on CD, and this was released with it. But as far as on record, this came out on Record Store Day as a standalone release by itself. So. That'll be my new one for 2022. Favorite new release. Next question. The last band or solo artist you saw live. Live, not alive. Now that's a tricky one because I've seen a few bands, mostly local kind of stuff, since the whole pandemic thing happened and they shut everything down. But the last band that I saw that I actually have a record by was the night before they shut down Louisiana, basically, for the pandemic, in 2020, I guess that was, and that was the Choir Boys. This one's called Twisted Love. I believe this is the album that they were touring. Maybe not. This is a 2016 album, so I don't know. Maybe it was just the one that they had on vinyl. I don't know. But I bought this at the concert. They used to be called the London Choir Boys, and that to me was a far better name, and I don't know why they just shortened it to the Choir Boys, but they've been that way for a long time. So their most well-known album is called a Bit of What You Fancy, and you can check that one out on CD. Probably they might have it on vinyl, but that came out long ago. And it was really good, and I didn't know anybody else that liked it besides me back in the day. So anyway, the Choir Boys. That's my last band or solo artist. The next one, their first album was the best. Now, that could be a lot of people. Because some bands, they just have that first album and everything else, they either go away or everything else just is not as good. They can't reach the same level. And I thought about it, and I was like, well, it could be anybody, but I wanted to make sure it was on a record that I had to. And the thing that kept coming to my mind was this one, and it could be argued that that their second album is better by some, but I believe it's this one, Skid Row's self-titled debut. This is on like a silver gray vinyl, and it didn't have any kind of inserts or anything in it. That's the disappointing part about it. And it was an expensive record. It was $41, I think. But I wanted it, so I splurged that day. Skid Row, though, self-titled. It's a hard fight between this one and their second album, Slave to the Grind. Next up, we've got. Wait, let's just put this over here. Number 4, Hat Trick. Show the vinyl, CD, and cassette of an album. So that means I have to have a cassette, a vinyl, CD, a record, a cassette record, and a CD of the same album. And I have a few of that in that category, but I chose to go with a classic, and that would be Def Leppard, Pyromania. On the cassette, I hated when they did this with the, they put the BMG or whatever it was. This says manufactured for RCA Music Service, and they cropped the cover. I've got a lot of cassettes like that. And we've got the CD, which I haven't had the CD that long. I mean, I didn't get it when it came out because I had the cassette, and then I had gotten the record. This record, I think I paid like under $1 for it, maybe? I don't know. It's got a D on the back. I don't know what that means. Maybe for Def Leppard. Somebody wrote it down on there. But, Pyromania. So that's my hat trick. 3 of the same. Cassette, vinyl, and CD. Then there's an album that starts and ends with the same letter. And that one took me a little while to figure out something. Because it's a weird thing to come up with something like that, like, I don't know. But this is the closest I get. Powerman 5000, Tonight the Stars Revolt. This just came out last year. As far as it's not a new album, but I believe this is the first time on vinyl, first time on LP. So yeah, so this is their first release of that, but it came out in '99 originally. But we've got the T, and the T we don't count punctuation. So Tonight the Stars Revolt by Powerman 5000. I may be seeing them. I have to redo this list. They're coming soon, and the price is right. So I may go see them because I've taken pictures of them I think twice before, and I'd like to do it again. The next one is Someone Born in the Same Year as You. Well, that's a hard thing to figure out. I basically went online and put something like rock stars born in 1971 or something like that, and there was this weird website that it was like the mega popular people. I don't know, there could be others, but I went with it. And we got this guy was born on January 18th, 1971. I was born in November. But Jonathan Davis of Korn is the only Korn record I have. I have a bunch of their CDs, probably maybe 6 or 8 albums or so of theirs. I like the early stuff a lot better. I think they kind of wore out their selves, whatever. But anyway, this is a really cool album cover. This was done by Todd McFarlane. So when I saw this at Walmart, and I was like, oh, I got to buy that because I want to have that artwork big. So that was that one. Then the next one, question number 7, was the most listened to album in 2022. It's an old album. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I found this at a pawn shop. It was $10. It's worth about $10, I guess. I would have paid a lot more because I wanted this album so bad. Now I've never seen it before or since in a store. I know it's available, but it's not something that I've seen. And I want their next album after this too. and I just haven't seen that one either. But straight out of Australia, Midnight Oil, Diesel and Dust. Absolutely great album. Everybody knows the Beds Are Burning song, but this thing, it's every song is just one after the other. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Can't read them though, because look at that font they used. Holy moly! But we've got things like Arctic World, Dream World, Put Down That Weapon, Warwick. I can't say that word. Warwickina, Karina, whatever. The Dead Heart, Bull Roarer. Sometimes is one of the best songs on there. Then that was my most listened to album in 2022. Then we've got the most listened to artist of 2022, and that one kind of was a little bit of a surprise because I wasn't expecting them to put out a new album, and they did put out a new album. But they put out two things that really got me into them, and I'm going to show both of them on this list. But first, I got to show you. I don't know which one I'll pick to show first. Okay, we'll go with this one. And it's Lillian Axe, From Womb to Tomb. I've listened to that's the newest album, which did come out in 2022. And is one of my favorite albums of the year. But like I said, I didn't buy a lot of albums. I love Lillian Axe. They're one of my favorite bands from the the 80s metal scene. They're from New Orleans. I'm actually friends with the guitar player's daughter. So anyway, Lillian Axe, I listened to them a lot this year. Just every one of their albums. I don't have everything physically, but I've got at least MP3s, I think, of everything. Because a lot of it was available on my local library's website, and you can download it. But anyway, so Lillian Axe, most listened to artist of 2022. Then we'll go double back to Australia, and just show an Australian artist or band, and I went with INXS. Pulled the Listen Like Thieves album out. I have, I believe, 3. I have the Swing, Listen Like Thieves, Kick, and maybe one other on vinyl, and then I have a bunch of others on CD. I think I have pretty much all their albums in one format or another. I think Shabu Shaba, I think I only have that on a cassette though. But this has got What You Need, Listen Like These, Shine Like It Does, Good plus Bad Times, Biting Bullets, This Time, Same Directions, One by One, and Red Red Sun. Great album. Next up, question 10. A record people would be surprised you purchased in 2022. And when I was reading that the first time, I kind of misinterpreted what it said, and I thought it was an album that it said that I was surprised that I got in 2022. So we're just gonna go with that. And I think other people would be kind of surprised too, because this album came out a long time ago. But that album is Suicidal Tendencies, Lights, Camera, Revolution. Found this on Amazon or Walmart. I don't remember. Amazon. And it was marked down like $15 off of the regular price. So I grabbed it up. I got this one and one of their other ones. And I got them basically for free because I had gift card money and stuff like that. So worked out really good. This is probably their classic album. This is the one that gave them some popularity. Even though they had the song Institutionalized off of their first album, this is like their 5th album or something. But this one has got You Can't Bring Me Down, Lovely, Send Me Your Money was probably the biggest hit, Alone. There was another one they had a hit too. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, moving on. Taking too much time. The next number 11 is an artist or band you're complete on. Now, that's hard because, when you're collecting music, a lot of times you get what was kind of popular at the time. If you like a band, you'll get whatever you can from them, and then a year later, you still don't have everything, and you kind of are done listening to them a lot, and you kind of forget about them for a while, and then they'll come out with something you might not know or whatever. And so I was like trying not to rack my brain on this, so like who I had the most, and it would probably take a combination of CDs and records to do this. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find a band I have at least 4 albums by, and on vinyl, and that's not which would cover their whole span. So they could either have 4 albums, or I guess or less. But I just went with the easy way out because I just finished these before, and I didn't want to go with the next band because I didn't want to double up on the same band. So what I did, I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 things by this band, and what I consider to be complete is you have to have all of their albums, and if they have a greatest hits, if they have more than one greatest hits, just one of them. If you have one greatest hits and all their regular albums, I feel like you're complete as you can be. But there's always going to be singles that have extra songs. There's going to be EPs by a lot of bands, stuff like that. Some stuff is hard to get, and I wouldn't consider that something to be complete. That's going to the next level. So I just went with the basics, and my band was My Chemical Romance, and so I have their 4 albums plus a greatest hits plus another album. So we've got I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love. That's the first one. And these are all Walmart. I was surprised to find these at Walmart. Then we got 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. That's the album that I first heard them on, I believe. Yeah, because that one has Helena, and that was the first song I ever heard. Then we have this is I believe it's some live tracks and demo stuff, and it's Life on the Murder Scene. It's a good one. Then their best, probably one of the best albums in recent years, I think, and that would be The Black Parade. I know people probably think it's overplayed, especially that song, but that song is freaking awesome, The Black Parade. And this one, when I heard it the first time, I was like, holy smokes, that's a great album. And I tried to tell a bunch of people, hey, you better get that album because it's going to be awesome. And some of them listened, some of them didn't. Then after that, they went from brilliant to kind of less than, and they put out this one. This is the one that doesn't have, it has a sticker that they use for the title, but it's on the back, and it's Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. This was their last album, and it's good. It's just not anywhere near Black Parade. And then finally their greatest hits thing, May Death Never Stop You, greatest hits 2001 to 2013. And I picked up the last 2 at Walmart for the Black Friday thing, and it worked out for me. And then let's see what now we got. A great run of 3 albums. That was hard to do too to do on vinyl, because I do have a lot of bands that I think had real strong, even up to 5 albums probably, but I don't have them all on vinyl, and some of them are like I'll be a mixture of vinyl and CD, and I just wanted to go straight vinyl on this, so I wouldn't have to spend all day trying to pull this stuff and then try to put it back where it goes after I'm finished. So this one may be a little controversial for a couple people, but not really. It's just the way I like them. And we've got Metallica, Master of Puppets. Everybody knows this one now after the popularity from Stranger Things. Then after that, we've got And Justice for All. So you know where I'm going after this. I mean, we could have added Ride the Lightning in here, but we didn't. Because I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if it's a thrash album. I don't care if it's a metal album. I don't care whatever it is. The Black Album by Metallica is a great album. It's a great rock metal album, whatever you want to call it. It's not thrash, I don't think. Some parts are. But, you know, they wanted to change for some reason. Whatever it was, we can't decide these people's lives, you know, what they want to do with their life and make their music. So, you know, you'll always have the thrash albums, and you can decide what you want to do after that. Anyway, that's that on that one. An 80s soundtrack. Just show one of your favorites. Well, I don't have a lot of soundtracks, especially on vinyl, that are, especially from the 80s. So I could have went with like the Lost Boys, because I have that one. But I figure a lot of people are going to show that. And so I wanted to go with something different that I found in a dollar bin, probably last year, maybe 2020. I don't know when I got this, but 2021 for sure, because it's got a price tag on it. So I got this in 2021. But I found this. I never saw this movie. Never heard of this movie. But when I saw what was on the front, I was like, oh my God, I got to get this because it's going to be awesome. The movie's called Times Square. And you can see it's torn right there. I'll tell you about that in a second. But when I was looking at the front, it said Suzi Quatro, The Pretenders, Roxy Music, Gary Newman, Marcy Levy and Robin Gibb, Talking Heads, Joe Jackson, XTC, The Ramones, Robin Johnson, and Trini Alvarado, I don't know who that is, The Ruts, D.L. Byron, Lou Reed, Desmond Child and Rouge, Garland Jeffries, The Cure, Patti Smith Group, and David Johansen, and he was in New York Dolls, I believe. So anyway, I got this, and I wanted to show you guys. When I pulled it out, this edge right here was like glued shut. It was like it was wet at some point, but not to the point where it got the whole jacket. It just got that edge, and if you see like here and here, it got that part wet. Like this part of the record got wet, and it sealed it shut. And when I got home, I was like, how am I going to get this apart without tearing the whole thing? And after like 10 minutes of deliberating, grabbed a knife, and I just kind of went down there and I sliced it and hoped for the best. And it was pretty much the best because it cut right through. You can see right here it's missing a piece, and that's because it's stuck to this side. But then not only was it stuck right there together, it was stuck where the records were stuck. So these records had never been played. There's a little funk inside of them. Not I wouldn't say mildew or anything. It looks like coffee stains. You guys can't really see it, but it it was cool that it came out so cleanly, really. But the songs on it, I can't really see them all, but they have "Walk on the Wild Side" by Lou Reed. That's a big song. Say some of the bigger ones. "Grinding Halt" is the Cure song. I don't know that one too well. "I Want to Be Sedated" by the Ramones. "Take This Town" by XTC. "Life During Wartime" by Talking Heads. I don't know if it's "Talk of the Town" or "Toast of the Town" by the Pretenders. "Rock Hard" by Suzi Quatro. And let's something seen by Roxy Music. I haven't listened to this a lot, but I remember when I did listen to it a couple times, I thought it was really good. I just haven't gotten back to it, and so that was a good find for $1. Can't beat that. All right. So number 14. We lost them in 2022, and there was a couple people that we lost, but the one that stood out to me, I think everybody would know, is Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters. I believe this is the last album that he worked on. I don't know if he did anything else with them. They got this one. This is Medicine at Midnight. This was the Target alternate embossed cover. It says art band photo. I don't know what that means. Maybe there's something in here. Oh, there's a photo in here, which is cool. I preferred that cover over the regular cover, like by a million. I mean, the red. I did not like the original cover, and I got this pretty cheap at Target because I believe when it was new, it was on sale, but then I think they had some kind of extra discount as well. So let's see what it says. I don't see credits for who's in the band. Foo Fighters, they wrote. Yeah, Taylor Hawkins was on this one. So I believe that's the last album he did with them. Maybe the last thing he ever recorded before he died. I'm sure other people will show Taylor Hawkins as their lost person in 2022. But he was. I think he was a good musician, and he'll be missed. All right, and my most disappointing purchase in 2022. My most disappointing purchase was so bad that I refused to buy it on vinyl. I've had this thing in my hand no less than 20 times the record. Could have gotten it for anywhere from like $42, I think, down to about $14. And I refused every time because I bought the CD when it first came out, thinking that it would be a really good comeback album. I hate it. This band, I praised them earlier, but Def Leppard, Diamond Star Halos. I hate this album, guys. I hate to say that because Def Leppard was, when I was a kid, was my favorite band. The last time I had a favorite band. I think the album itself, the artwork and stuff, looks pretty cool. But it just didn't do anything for me. It was supposed to be like a return to them, a classic era, which I would think would be like Hysteria, Pyromania era. But it's not. It's not at all like that. It's pop. It's pop Def Leppard. And Def Leppard always was kind of a pop sounding band anyway. But this is just not it. And they had that song "Kick," which was the only single I had heard before, and I wasn't sold on that. And then it just got worse after I bought it. But this is the Target exclusive, and I bought this one because there's a song called "Lifeless" that they do with Alison Krauss. I don't know why this woman is involved with Rockstar. She's deals with Led Zeppelin guy, Robert Plant, and they do countryish songs. Well, they did a countryish song on this called "Lifeless," and then there's another version that says Joe Only version, which I'm assuming is Joe Elliott singing solo. And it is, it is, but I don't know. And then there's another version of "Goodbye for Good this time. It's the avant-garde mix, whatever that means. So anyway, thought this was terrible. I've listened to it maybe 3 times. I don't know if I'm ever going to listen to it again. It hurts my feelings. The next one, getting close to the end here, guys. The non-vinyl purchase, CD, book, etc. Well, this is actually the third non-vinyl purchase on here, but the first one that got me back into Liliana X. This is Psalms for Eternity, Earth, Sky, Sea. It's a 3-disc set. It's basically a greatest hits. There's a couple new songs on it. The way it works is the first song is from the newer album, and it works its way back. Each disc works its way backwards, and then the last track on each one is a new song. So it's got all their hits mostly. This was supposedly picked by Steve Blaze, the guitar player. And so this is like his choices for this, and you can't have everything because you only got 3 songs from each album. But the extra songs are Angels Among Us, Perfect Blue, the demo version, and Weeping Moon. Everything else is like I said, they go from like Death Comes Tomorrow is the first song, 47 Ways to Die, Jesus Wept, Waters Rising, Death Valley Days, Crucified, True Believer, Show Little Love, Misery Loves Company, bonus track. And each album just goes back. So it's the newest to oldest, newest to oldest, newest to oldest, and bonus tracks. Really good. If you're new to Liliana X, pick this up. I don't remember how much it was. I don't remember it being expensive. I bought it from the Global Rock, from the publisher, whatever you want to call it. I actually bought it from them, so it might have been cheaper that way. But I did have to pay shipping, so I don't know. Anyway, moving on. You found a grail. As I've said many times before, I don't believe in grails because you can only have one grail. Otherwise, you just have a bunch of stuff. So I think I have albums that I really want, or need, or whatever you want to call it. But no such thing as grails. Because who's gonna say you're the best album ever? I mean, I can't say what the best album ever is. I can put some things up there, but I'll fight myself over it all day long. So anyway, a much needed album was Suicidal Tendencies, The Art of Rebellion. This one came after Lights, Camera, Revolution. I found this one same time I found the other one, and same deal. Had a gift card or whatever. Sounds really good. Couldn't believe that I got both of those albums within 2 days of each other. But this one's real good. It's got a upside down track list on the back. Nobody Hears, Monopoly on Sorrow, I Wasn't Meant to Feel This Way, Asleep at the Wheel, Which Way to Free, It's Going Down, Where's the Truth, Gotta Kill Captain Stupid, Monopoly on Sorrow, Nobody Hears, that's the best song, man. Accept My Sacrifice, Can't Stop, all that good stuff. All right, almost to the end now. Number 18, Space Theme album sleeve or song. I couldn't find anything with a space theme. How is that even possible? Or I couldn't think of anything except for the Journey Escape album. And the funny thing is that if I wouldn't have had this one, I would have used the live album that I bought for recently, where it's the tour of this, and they just have the same picture, but it's smaller and it's got less of a cover. But that's space, right? Their little ship or whatever that is busting through this planet-like thing. I don't know. I guess space, Final Frontier. Yeah, there's a planet right there. It's supposed to be Saturn or something. Yeah, we're in space. All right, that's my space theme. Show some VCLT or a present. Now, VCLT, I found out this year, means Vinyl Community Love Train. Well, I don't have any of that. I don't know too many people out there that do videos. I know a few people that I comment on their videos, and sometimes they comment on mine. But I don't know anybody, personally enough to be trading records or anything. And I see these guys sometimes they send stuff to each other, and I'm just amazed. Like, man, You know, I don't think I could afford to do it. I don't know. But I mean, if somebody wanted to send me something, or if I had something I knew somebody wanted that I could get for them, I would definitely deal with that and do it. But you know, for now, it's just what it is. So I didn't have anything for that, and people don't give me presents very often, and so I figured I would say one of my, a lot of my record store day Black Friday stuff was also my birthday present, because my birthday was Thanksgiving Day, and then the next day was Black Friday. So I went to record store day and I bought something I really wanted, the Best of Soul Coughing, Lust in Phase. This is a lot of songs. I don't know, maybe 20 songs, but I don't have anything. This is the only thing I have by them on vinyl. I have their, I believe, 3 albums. They had 4, either 3 or 4, but I'm either missing one or I have them all, plus a single, and now I have this. I mean, it's got them all. It's got what's the song? Super Bon Bon, Soundtrack to Mary, Lazy Bones, Rolling, Circles. There's another Super Bon Bon song. The Propellerheads radio edit. Dreams of Wichita, True Dreams of Wichita. Bust to Beelzebub. You know, there's a lot of good stuff. This is a kind of unique sounding band from the 90s. Check them out if you can. And finally, the last thing I got on the list, show an album released in 1973. And this one I found it twice actually, both times in a dollar bin. This one, the cover is in a lot better shape. That's why I bought the second version copy of it. But this woman on the front, she's beautiful. But it's a beautiful day. Today is the album. They did. There's another album that I have by them. This cover is like a, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's let's look at that 99-cent sticker on it. But it's like it's textured. It's not like slick. It's real nice. The inside looks good. The record actually plays good. This is a really good condition one. Spine's got a little bit dings on it, but overall, once I can get the stickers off of it without tearing them up, that'll be great. This is a really surprisingly good album. When I picked it up the first time, and to be honest, I saw The Beautiful Woman, and I was like, I'll check that out, see what that's about. And then I liked it, and I was like, oh man. And then I started seeing people post stuff about this band from 1973 that I never heard of before, and turned out to be good. So when I came across the second one, I surely grabbed that one up too for 99 cents, and that was good too. I don't know how many albums they did. I don't know if the band was all the same people, but perfect. And that is it for the Vinyl Tag 2023 episode. I'm trying to do there's another thread going around about the 80s hair metal thing. And honestly, I'm going to do something with that, but I don't want to be part of that because that little trend thing, that's not a trend, but it's people are like JC from Flipside show. He started it, and I had already been planning on doing something. I was just trying to get all this organized back here, and I was going to do my own version of it, so I don't want to like tag onto that because it's not necessarily the same thing. I think they're doing like top 10 albums or something like that, and mine is more of my personal kind of history with it, I guess. And then maybe it's the same thing, but I just don't want to connect it to that so much because, like I said, it's a little bit different. And I'm loving everybody that I've seen, all this stuff that they've shown. It's like some of the stuff I don't even have and at all, and it's really good. But when I do that video, it's gonna probably take me to pull out a bunch of CDs. It's gonna take me to pull out cassettes. It's gonna take me to pull records to talk about what I want to talk about, and it might even have to be more than one part because most of these guys are doing their videos and they're under 20 minutes. Mine might be 2 hours or something, worth of talking. And so that's it for this episode. Come back later and do another one. I did go and do some thrift store things, but that's my friend's fault. And we got a little bit of stuff there, and I might do that video right after this. And that's it. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.